and your ass is still fucking stuck with them goddamn distractions, go in the link in the bio, hit that, and go grab your goddamn distractions ebook for free. Because we don't have any more time to be worried about distractions. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This might be a tough topic for you because it's going to challenge the way that you have previously communicated. It's not your standard traditional cookie cutter, your Jimmy following a fucking script because it makes people feel comfortable. This is a real conversation that needs to be had, and you have to know that being brutally honest is probably the best way to communicate. I think the first hurdle is the barrier of feelings and emotional intelligence. To speak from a place of being brutally honest, it involves a level of truth that people are not comfortable with. So what is that gonna do to you? Inside, you're gonna feel like you're hurting someone's feeling because of their facial expressions, their mannerisms, their body language is gonna tell you they're uncomfortable, but that is perfectly fine simply because you're telling what the truth of the matter is. And the only way we're gonna get in any sort of direction, whether it be about money, fulfillment of service, testimonials, whatever is going on in the business world that you're trying to operate in, is by telling the truth from your eyes and then getting them to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you right now, when you're having conversations with people, if you give them transparency and give them the truth about a situation, they will then feel more open to give you the truth and transparency of how they see it. Because remember, when you're giving your truth, you're giving the truth that you understand as the truth from your position. Remember, a 9 looks like a 9 from this side. You go to the other side, it's gonna look like a 6. You have to be aware and know that maybe this is my truth. They also have a truth. And then there is the truth. There's 3 truths in every story. My truth, your truth, and the truth. Always open up with your truth. Be as brutally honest as possible. You don't need to get caught up in your mind. You don't need to slur over your words. You don't need to worry about their emotions because they will get to their truth. And then as you continue to have conversation, you will get to the truth if you're open enough to have that real conversation. Once you understand that the truth is the route to go, once you get over this emotional barrier to thinking that people are going to be hurt by the things I have to say, the next thing is understand that you need to be brutally honest with yourself at all times. To be an unruly man in a fucking world that is all about this averages or cookie cutter style, you need to know how and why you operate the way you do, which means you need to look in the mirror every fucking day and say, yo, I did better than I did yesterday, and I'm hoping to do better tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, you better be able to say, I did better than yesterday, and I'm hoping to do better tomorrow. And if you didn't, you have to say, I didn't do as good as I did yesterday, I'm hoping to do better tomorrow. It's just real. We're humans. We're gonna have downfalls. We're gonna have fucking high, but you have to know how to speak to yourself and know when you're fucking up and when you're not fucking up. You can't sit there and think, la-di-da-di-da, everything's fucking great. I'm just doing what I need to do because I have my manuscript and I took a course and I know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, the day after, and all that other bull. Jimmy, that is a clone type of mentality. Fuck that. Look in the mirror. Only you can tell the truth to yourself. You know when you're lying. You know when you're not telling the truth. You know when you're not operating at the highest level that you can. You know when you're not performing the way that you should. You know when you're indulging in bullshit that you know you shouldn't be. You know that. No matter how much you want to throw a blanket over the shit that you do, no matter how much you think you can just run away because you can take drugs and forget about it, fuck no. The truth still lies within you. That's why you still fucked up when you hear shit about it, because it triggers you. The truth triggers many people. Shit on conversations and topics that I don't like, it's gonna trigger me. The truth is a very uncomfortable thing, but once you understand how to bend it to what you need it to do, you will always have it in your back pocket to use. Do not get it fucked up where it's like, oh, you get worried about this or you get worried about that, and fuck the white noise. The truth is what it is, and it is to be used as an asset to get across a thought process or communicate something to someone. Don't get caught up in the emotional rat race. Don't get caught up in the lies that you tell yourself either, right? Because it's gonna get you nowhere. I wanna jump into how being brutally honest will not only help you with communicating something, but it will also build loyalty and trust. Those 2 things are highly, you need those in business. If you thought you were just gonna jump into business or jump into the entrepreneurship life and not have those 2, loyalty and trust are built from you being brutally honest. If you don't like a position or you don't like where you are or you don't like what's going on in a certain business deal or whatever, you need to speak up about it. It might be very uncomfortable. It might be like, oh, whoa, don't know how this is gonna work. Oh shit, need to backtrack. But that's fine, but be honest, be open. You should should have enough rapport with somebody to be able to tell your side of the story to them. And if you don't, then you don't need that relationship. The hardest things for us to do as entrepreneurs when we finally get out of the 9-to-5 game is that you have to be able to say no to certain people when they don't respect the boundaries of your truth. Not only is it bogged down to business people, this could be anybody. And more than likely, it's going to be the closest people to you. Your boundaries, you must set them and understand that they better be lined with truth. And when people do not want to respect those boundaries, when you're speaking your truth and continue to permeate those things that you're saying to them, nip it at the bud immediately. Truth is literally to build trust and loyalty. If we're using the truth to build trust and loyalty, if we're looking to build a bond with somebody, whether it be a relationship in business or outside of business, when you're looking to build something with somebody, the loyalty and trust that you can go to someone in hard times, have deep, hard conversations that the world may not be ready for. Talk about money issues, talk about this, talk about whatever you're going to that person for, and however that relationship was formed, it should be formed off of the understanding that we can always be honest and open here and speak our truth, because it builds that loyalty and trust. Why? Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to function when you start to get into these rocky times. Although isolation, like we've spoken in many other videos, isolation is great, but once you get out of your isolation, it's time to rebuild. You need other humans that you can build, have that camaraderie, that community. We're communal animals. We like to be around other people, but you need to be able to be around people that are loyal to you and that you can trust and that they can do vice versa with you. I give you a story time. In my life, I've had many people drop out of my life on the basis of that the brutal honesty that I may have given was not understood as brutal honesty. It was understood as the attack. So the trigger of my brutal honesty caused the person that I was speaking to feel attacked or otherwise felt triggered because of the things that I was talking about, for them to lash out. Here's the kicker. Later down the line, months later, maybe a year later, people will circle back to you because you're the only person who kept it real. So I want you to know that although it's very uncomfortable to talk about truth, it's very uncomfortable to tell people about themselves, it's very uncomfortable not to be that yes man, you have to, you must, because I bet you when the people circle back or when they reflect, if they have any sense, to say, who told me the realest shit, they're gonna say that you told them the realest shit. And not only are they gonna do that, they're gonna feel like they need to come back to you because you are the only person who told them the truth in the hardest times of their life. And they didn't see it as a positive, they saw it as a negative. And so they ran or they tried to attack you. And when you then cut the blind because they disrespected the barrier, they feel the need to come back. And it's up to you to then discern if you want to let them back in your circle or not. Many times I don't let you back in my circle because you can't take my brutal honesty, and that's how I operate in all realms of life, with complete brutal honesty. Brutal honesty is this thing where you better get real close with it because it'll help you. It'll help you not only build relationships, but build money in your life. You can break yourself down without having to think about too much. Because when you're brutally honest, all those lies that you tell yourself on a day-to-day kind of just disappear. Why? Because you know if you keep them there, you're just lying to yourself. And if you really want to root yourself in a place of being unruly and being in a truth mindset all the time, you have to let those lies dissipate. So you better just be honest. We are not all perfect. We are not all ever going to be perfect. We are going to make mistakes. But one of the biggest things that you should try to cut out as often as possible are those lies that you tell to yourself in your brain, and build a very strong relationship with brutal honesty, even when you're uncomfortable, even when people don't like, even when people run from you, even when you start to lose people you thought you wouldn't, even when you start to get the little success. You have to stay and remain brutally honest. It'll change your life in ways that you thought you couldn't get over, like those hurdles that you thought you couldn't get over. And it'll also harden you, right? Like a lot of us are soft. Even myself, there are people that I can speak to very harshly, but there are these few people that I can't, it softens your heart a bit. Bro, you have to learn how to be brutally honest all the time, even when it's people that you think don't need it or don't want to hear it. Always be brutally honest no matter who you're speaking to, because it gets out exactly the message that you know you want to get out. And you don't have to hide behind a mask. And like we said before, in business, the amount of masks that you're going to see and come across, way more than you can count, way more than you can ever prepare yourself for. And that's one of the main things that I can't stand in business, and why we have Objective View. Because I want you to understand, as you start to become this entrepreneur that you want to be, and you start to build and cultivate the people around you that you want, everyone has a fucking mask on. Everyone. So if you are that human being who can come and just show your face as who you are and speak from an honest place of truth and build loyalty and trust with people, people will always want to come to you simply because you have the reputation not only of telling the truth, but people always know no matter what they do or how they operate around you, you will tell them the truth, not only about themselves, but about the situation that may be at hand that they need help with. You will be that confidant. I promise you. People call my phone simply for brutal honesty because they know they can't get it nowhere else. Where else you gonna get it? If everyone tells you you're great, if everyone tells you you're doing great, oh, you're doing amazing. Oh, you did phenomenal. Oh, you closed another deal. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No one wants to hear that all the time when you're trying to improve. So be honest with yourself and be that person who people can call to be brutally honest and call the shots. Not only does that help you with your reputation, but that also helps when it comes to garnishing new networking opportunities, because when they introduce you, you will be the guy that they say, yo, whenever I need real conversations, I call this one, right? And all entrepreneurs that are of higher echelon understand the importance of having the tool of brutal honesty. So when you get that label of being brutally honest and people can then represent you by saying, yo, I call this motherfucker right here when I need the truth, everyone else will look at you like, yep, I need that person on my team, or they want to hear about your story. And hey, if they want to hear about your story and your ass is still fucking stuck with them goddamn distractions, go in the fucking link in the bio, hit that, and go grab your goddamn distractions ebook for free. Because we don't have any more time to be worried about distractions. Distractions are going to fuck you up in the long run. You will never get to the places that I'm talking about right here if you don't get over the distractions. So hit that link in the description, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with whoever you think needs to know about brutal honesty. And if you gain something, hit me and tell me what you learned or what you going to use this brutal honesty to do in the comments below. Holla.
Boy, Mr. Brown.